Hello everyone, a few minutes before 12 o'clock, I'm just done with my live room, so I'll be demonstrating today, going into the early afternoon, V-Elementra, and this is a system that pretty much combines everything. This is all in one. So let's go over some components and then hopefully be able to take a few live trades. So main components here are as follows. The bands that you see, that's dynamic, support, and resistance. Price would often react from these bands unless there is a very strong momentum, either bullish or bearish. When price starts breaking through the band, that means a very strong momentum. So you can see it here to the upside, and in the live room we were bullish all morning. And so all things being equal, what you want to do is you want to wait for some kind of retracement to take long trades. There are three types of signals here. There is the early entry, and those are entries that very often occur before price pulls deep enough to the moving average. And those are fine signals, especially when there is a very strong momentum and price cannot reach the moving average. However, I really prefer the deeper retracement, and that retracement brings you to the moving average or maybe even a bit beyond the moving average, but still in the direction of the overall trend. And then there is the reversal signal. The reversal signal will occur when price goes into either a dynamic support or dynamic resistance, and then there is a reversal bar. Those signals tend to be very effective, but you need to know when to use them, because not every market condition would favor the reversal signal. So that's something I want to talk about as we are waiting for a trade. Reversal signals have the highest probability of working out when the market is not in a very strong momentum, when there is no directional movement. In other words, when the market, like in a consolidation phase, when it kind of ranges back and forth from some kind of a defined top to a defined bottom. That's when the reverse signals work the best. You don't want to take them, for example, when there is news coming out, right? Or maybe the first 30 to 60 minutes of the New York session open, because that's when we tend to have very directional moves. However, now that we are approaching lunchtime, now I expect a lot of back and forth in a defined range. And that's when these reverse signals are very effective. Now, actually, the opposite for the retracement signals, right? The deep signal or the early entry, those I want to trade when there is some kind of a directional move. Under those conditions, I would want to see a retracement and then a signal in a given trend, like we see over here with the long signals. So I think the way I'm going to do this, first I'm going to look for a couple of trades so I can demonstrate. Then I'm going to go back and look for all the signals that I just discussed and show you how the dynamic support and resistance bands play a role in price movement.
Order
Alright, so
submitted.
here's a reversal signal. I'm a little bit late, but it's fine. So I'm going to drag my target kind of closer to that moving average. So this is obviously a very strong momentum move. You can see that price kept going above the dynamic resistance area. However, because of the time that we are entering, now this is lunchtime, I expect more kind of a back and forth kind of price action. I would not try this, let's say, at 9:45 in the morning Eastern, right? 15 minutes into the open. I would not try a reversal signal then, but now I think it's more appropriate.
Target filled.
Alright, so the target gets hit, and I think the price should probably continue all the way to the moving average. And then we'll see. So actually, from this point now, again, because I'm expecting more of a back and forth, I will wait for the price to get into the dynamic support area and then see if there is a reversal from there for a long trade.
Order submitted.
Alright, so price arrived at the dynamic support area, and there is a reverse signal, so I'm going to be taking a long. Again, my target is kind of around the moving average, and my stop is a bit below the pivot low that was created.
Target filled.
Right, so I move higher and my target is hit. And it's just about 1 o'clock, so it took a bit over an hour since I started this video to have these two setups, right from a short to a long. Alright, now, so as we go back to the open, this is when we normally expect momentum and very directional movement of price. So this is where I'm not interested in reverse signals. What I am interested is this, the deep retracements. There are two types of retracements here. There is the early entry and then there is the deeper retracement. I prefer the deeper retracement, and I prefer it to be the first one after trend change. So as we see over here, this blue dot here represents a change of trend. Here it went bearish a little bit, so it goes bullish, and now I want to see this first deep retracement for a long trade. Now there are also early entries, so the early entry very often would occur before price tests the moving average. These, in my opinion, are a bit more aggressive. I really prefer the deeper retracement. However, when there was a very strong momentum, and you can tell here, there was a very strong momentum as price goes above the dynamic resistance band, these are okay. Again, I just prefer the deeper retracement. By the way, it is interesting to notice how price moves from dynamic resistance band to dynamic support band, kind of back and forth like a ping pong. But again, you see this deeper retracement after the change of trend. The first deeper retracement, these really tend to do a very good job in giving you at least a scalp, if not more. So these dynamic bands follow price. That's why they are dynamic bands, right? Dynamic support and resistance. They follow price, and very often price would react as it enters either a resistance band or a support band. And that's why, let's say, if you take this deep retracement trade, you kind of want to target, once price starts entering this band, you should be on full alert that there could be a reversal. So one strategy, for example, could be to just watch for the first bar that reverses down, unless of course you're using some ATM and then you have a fixed number of ticks that you are targeting. Well, I hope you enjoyed this demonstration of V-Elementra. As always, make sure you are subscribed, leave this video a like, look in the description for any deals or offers from NINZACO, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Join the HelloWin Forum, where ninZaFamily traders come together to explore valuable trading knowledge and products. Click the link in the description to get started. Thanks for watching until the end. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell icon so you don't miss our latest content.